8 years later, he gave me a recommendation for the band. Yeah, it's totally crazy.
I'm really curious to hear your Abbath story, and how did you come across the guys, and how did you met the guys, and how did you join the band?
Well, basically that story has a bit more connection to some events many years ago already, but only later on I could see that these certain events, which were not directly linked into me getting into Abbath, were basically part of that path of getting into the band. 2017, I was contacted for the first time to play drums for Abbath, at least for a certain period of time. And there was a period of time when the previous drummer of the band was not able to perform all the shows. So they were basically looking for a guy to step in for a fixed period.
Like a replacement, basically, session musician.
Yeah. The first time I went to Norway was in February of 2018. In between the time that I was originally contacted by the band and the first time that I went to Norway, they apparently found another replacement already, but they actually contacted me again at the beginning of 2018, and that was the time that I approved to basically play all the shows that they had booked for 2018.
So there was an element of luck there also, right? In a way.
There was, yeah, totally. There was a good timing, and I think the previous Abbath bassist, King of Hell, who was also in the band Gorgoroth and a few other remarkable Norwegian metal bands, he found me from YouTube originally, and then there was the previous drummer who also gave his recommendation. You know, he basically said that he subscribed to my YouTube channel in 2009 when I released my first video that went a little bit viral. That was the Bleed by Meshuggah. He knew me as a musician since 2009. So 8 years later, he gave me a recommendation for the band.
Crazy.
And yeah, it's totally crazy. But also at the same time, I was so ready for that. I just knew that something was going to happen in that period of time, because I just felt that I was really aligned for that to happen in that time. So it happened, and here we are. Actually, it just became 3 years since I joined the band as a session guy.
Yes.
But journey continued on, and I became part of the official lineup, and also we just recently recorded our second album. It's the third album of the band, but it's my second album.
Yes.
So,
and you mentioned you've been doing it for 3 years already, and I also know that it's the longest term that the drummer in Abbath was playing. So you are basically the longest living drummer in the band. How do you explain that? How did it happen?
It's definitely been a learning and growing process for everybody, but I personally feel that, you know, I joined as a session guy in the band, and later on became part of the official lineup. And actually the drummers before me, everybody was wearing the same mask, which was part of the image of the band. I was the first one who actually came into the band as a individual. I made it public in first sight when I joined, or when just before we were starting our first tour together, that I was playing for Abbath. And I'm also at the album cover, album booklet. I'm just Ukri in the band and on the album. Yeah, I've been very happy with that fact that I was able to join the band as myself. pursuing on my musical career. So to me, it was important to step in the band as a on my own identity.
Yes.
Sort of.
In some of the interviews, Corey Taylor from Slipknot, when asked about this mask thing, right, in the band, he said that when you are wearing the mask, you are allowing yourself different things that you otherwise wouldn't allow yourself as a human. So it kind of gives you this shield that you can use to hide your real self and then bring out that energy that is maybe stored somewhere deep inside you.
I think that's the case. Maybe not really hiding the real self, but probably you are still yourself, but you are allowing this other dimension to the surface that is maybe otherwise doesn't have a channel to.
Right.
This is also something that is universal in arts and music in general. Many musicians or artists are creating that art because it's their channel to express things that didn't find other channels to be expressed.
That's a very, very strong point. And I think in some of the interviews, a famous Russian film director, Andrei Tarkovsky, who shot Stalker and a bunch of really great movies earlier in the 70s, he said that the world around us is not perfect. So we as humans are seeking for this kind of artificial way to balance things out, and the art and music and film or photography, for that matter, art like painting, sculpture, help us, as you said, find that channel and kind of balance things out. Like he said that if everything would be perfect on Earth, there would be no need for arts, right? But that would be very boring. Can you
That's very
can you relate to that?
interesting observation. I can relate to many of that.